Hi, I'm Shannon with Taste of Home, and today I'm going to walk you through how to deep fry a turkey. Whether you want to switch things up this Thanksgiving or you've just always wanted to try it, I'll show you how easy it is to deep fry a turkey. It's quick to cook, it'll free up your oven on a holiday, it's very tasty, and it's very simple. Before we talk turkey, let's talk equipment. Some of the things you're going to want to have on hand are heat-proof gloves, a long lighter or long matches, a meat thermometer, and an oil thermometer. And of course, you're going to need a turkey fryer kit. You can buy the pieces separately, but the kit has everything included that you'll need. A large pot with the rack, the burner, and some of them even come with your oil thermometer. In addition to that, you're also going to need a propane tank, a wide open space. You want to make sure that you're at least 10 feet away from any structures or buildings, a fire extinguisher in case anything goes awry, and a chair, because once you get going, you're not going anywhere. And now let's talk turkey. There is a size limit on how big of a bird you can deep fry. You want to aim for something in the 10 to 14 pound range, as any larger will not fit in a standard 30-quart pot. You can do a larger turkey, but you'll have to cut off the legs and the wings and fry them separately so that it will all fit. You also want to make sure that your turkey is 100% defrosted. An ice pocket anywhere will cause an oil splatter later. And for that reason, you also want to avoid things like a wet brine or a wet marinade, because any moisture at all is going to lead to oil splatter. Before we season our turkey, let's talk about the oil. You're going to want an oil with a high smoke point and a neutral flavor. Things like peanut oil, vegetable oil, canola oil, or safflower oil are all good options. In order to measure the oil needed, we're actually going to use water. Take your empty fryer pot and put your turkey in it. Keep the turkey in the original package it came in, or place it in an oven bag to keep it dry. Then cover the turkey with water until you have enough water to cover it by about 1/2 inch. Remove the turkey and allow any excess water to drip off. Then you can measure the amount of water left in the pot or mark the fill line. This will tell you how much oil to use when you fill your pot later. So the first thing I'm going to do is just pat it dry to remove as much moisture as possible to prevent oil splatter later. This is also going to help the dry rub stick to the bird instead of kind of running off. Next, we'll prepare our seasonings. So I'm going to do a dry brine that uses fresh thyme, kosher salt, some sugar, garlic powder, paprika, and freshly cracked black pepper. Mix that up. So now I'm going to loosen the skin on the turkey so we can put the seasoning under there. So I'm going to take a little seasoning, put it under the skin and the breast, and just rub it all over. The salt and the sugar are key flavor components in this dry brine. They're really going to help tenderize the meat and keep it juicy. So I'm using at least half of my dry rub under the skin. That's to make sure the meat's really well seasoned. Now the rest of it, we're going to do inside the cavity to kind of get the meat from the inside, and a little bit on the outside of the skin to help with the caramelization. Once you have it very well seasoned, I'm going to go ahead and tuck the wings. This is so that it will fit in the pot better and so that those wingtips don't burn. The next thing we want to do is just tie the legs. Again, this is so that everything fits into the fryer basket easily. Then this will sit in the fridge for 18 to 24 hours, and we'll dry it off again and get to frying. Now that our turkey has sat in the fridge for 18 to 24 hours, we're gonna dry it again. And while it was in the fridge, we actually had it on a rack so that some of the liquid would drip off. So again, we're just removing excess moisture so we don't have an oil splatter. You don't need to rub it and rub all of your seasoning off. We're just looking to kind of dab off the liquid. Inside the cavity is going to be your main spot. That's where most of your liquid's going to gather. Once we're done with that, we're going to put our turkey onto our fryer rack on a baking sheet, and we're going to go breast side down. Once you've got your turkey all set to go, make sure you've gathered everything that you'll need outside. Once you start frying, you're not going to want to be going in and out even for just a moment. When you're ready to start cooking, it's time to set up your fry station. Follow the manufacturer's directions for setting up the fryer itself. Make sure that you set it up outside on a level ground, at least 10 feet away from any structures or combustible materials. When you're ready to pour the oil, you want to make sure you do this outside in case you start splashing. You want to pour in the oil up to the level that you marked, or use the same amount as the water that we measured earlier. Bring your turkey out covered, light the fire, and wait for the oil to heat to 275 degrees. If it's cold outside, it can take over 2 hours for this, so make sure you plan accordingly. Before you drop the turkey into your hot oil, you want to turn the burner off in case there's any splashing. Slowly and carefully, using your heat-proof gloves, lower the turkey into the hot oil. Once it's all the way in, relight your burner and set it to high until you reach 350 degrees. If it's cold outside, your oil may never reach this cooking temp, but that's okay. Adjust the heat as needed and just maintain an even temperature. Let your turkey cook away. Your turkey will cook for about 3 to 4 minutes per pound, so a 14-pound turkey will take 30 to 45 minutes. Always defer to the temperature of the turkey and only use the cook times as a guideline. They are not set in stone. When the turkey is done, slowly and gently lift the turkey straight up and out of the pot. Have a roasting pan nearby to rest the turkey on. Check the temperature of the thigh in the thickest part using a meat thermometer. You want it to read between 170 and 175 degrees to be fully cooked. Our turkey is done, and I brought it inside, transferred it to a roasting pan with a rack in it. This is going to allow airflow underneath so that the skin stays crispy, and it will allow our turkey to cool for about 20 minutes before we carve it so the juices can redistribute. After your turkey has cooled down, you can carve it up to serve it. And that's it. You've conquered deep frying a turkey.